Fox News alert: a major breakthrough in one of the most mysterious mass shootings in American history. After 6 days of no leads, investigators believe they've identified the Brown shooter, and they now have a warrant out for his arrest. The shooter's still at large. He's armed and dangerous. Police just found the suspect's car in Salem, New Hampshire. They've set up a perimeter outside of the warehouse where his car was parked, and they just entered the building. The car's a Nissan Sentra that he had rented. Police were flagged when his car tripped an alert crossing state lines into New Hampshire. We're also told he swapped plates on the vehicle. Sources on the ground tell us he could be barricaded inside, alive, dead, we don't know. Or he could have flown the coop. North of Salem is dark New England forest for miles. Salem's just 45 minutes driving north of Brookline, where police believe he shot and killed an MIT professor on Monday. Investigators are looking for a possible connection between the shooting at Brown and MIT. More on that later. So why is this coming together so slowly? Well, this morning we found out what the hard evidence was that police discovered at the scene of the crime. Providence PD confirmed the live rounds with traces of DNA. They ran the forensics, and police think they have a suspect. The question is, how did it take 6 days to run DNA off a shell casing at the crime scene? That should have been done in the first 24 hours. We also finally got a look inside of the room where the shooting happened. The classroom has no windows, and one side of the room is a brick wall. There's a door where the shooter may have come in from, or perhaps there's another door we just don't know. And we still don't know how many students were in the room. Eyewitnesses and reports say anywhere between 20 and 60. And police still haven't interviewed all of them or even know who they are. Police believe that the Brown shooter may have also been involved in the shooting of Nuno Loureiro, the MIT nuclear scientist who was murdered in the hallway of his condo late Monday night in Massachusetts. His wife found him dead in the hall and called 911. Earlier this week, the Providence police chief told us this had no MIT connection.
Welcome back, guys. This story honestly gets more frightening the longer it goes on. At first, it sounded like a tragic but isolated shooting at Brown University. Now, every new update makes it feel bigger, messier, and much more dangerous. According to the latest reports, investigators believe they have finally identified the Brown University shooter. They even have a warrant for his arrest. That alone sounds like progress, but what followed is what really raises concern. The suspect's rented Nissan Sentra was found far away in Salem, New Hampshire. The moment that car crossed state lines, alarm went off. Police rushed in, set up a prime perimeter around a warehouse where the car was parked, and entered the building, but even then, nothing was clear. No arrest, no confirmation, just more questions. At this point, police don't even know if the suspect is inside that warehouse, dead somewhere, or already gone. And that's the scary part. North of Salem is miles and miles of thick New England forest. If someone disappears into that area, it becomes incredibly hard to track them. On top of that, investigators believe the suspect may have swapped license plate, which suggests planning and an attempt to disappear. What makes this case even more disturbing is a possible new connection. Investigators are now looking into whether this same suspect could be linked to the murder of an MIT professor in Brooklyn. That alone completely changed the scale of this case. Earlier, police seemed to shut down that idea. Now, suddenly, they are reopening it. That contradiction makes people wonder what else may have been missed or delayed. The MIT professor who was killed was not just any academic. He was a nuclear scientist working at the forefront of fusion research. That detail alone raises red flags. Was this random? Was it targeted, or was it connected to the Brown University shooting in ways we still don't understand? The fact that investigators are only now seriously exploring this link feels unsettling. Another major issue is how slow parts of this investigation appears to have been. One of the biggest examples in DNA evidence. Police found live, unfired rounds at the Brown University shooting scene, and those rounds had tracks of DNA on them. The DNA eventually led to identifying a suspect. But here's the problem. It reportedly took about 6 days to run that DNA. In a case involving an active shooter who may still be on the run, 6 days feel like a lifetime. They delayed could mean the difference between catching someone early and losing them completely. Then there's the issue of eyewitnesses. Shockingly, police still have not interviewed all the students who were in the classroom when the shooting happened. Some estimates say there were anywhere between 20 and 60 students present. That's a huge number of potential witnesses. Each one could have noticed something small but crucial: a sound, a movement, a face, a direction the shooter ran. The fact that not all of them have been interviewed yet raises serious questions about priorities and resources. Surveillance footage adds another layer to this mystery. Video shows the gunman walking past a second person of interest. That person was later identified and interviewed by police, which is good. But it also makes you wonder how many other people crossed paths with the suspect that day without realizing it. How many chances were there to stop this sooner? One of the most frustrating details is the missing dash cam footage. The last known sighting of the shooter was near a Brown University campus police vehicle. But that vehicle did not have dash cams. In today's world, cameras are everywhere. Dash cams are standard in so many police departments. The fact that a key movement may have gone unrecorded because of missing equipment feels like a massive failure. Security concerns at Brown University are also being questioned. Some argue that stronger security measures like more cameras and visible guards could have made a difference. If the shooter had been identified or catched sooner, could the MIT professor's murder have been prevented? That's a painful question, but it's one that deserves to be asked. Adding to all of this confusion is the lack of clear communication from authorities. A press conference scheduled for 4 p.m. was first pushed back and then seemed to disappear altogether. Going silent in a case like this does not claim the public. It does the opposite. It feels fear, rumor, and mistrust. When you put all of this together, it paints a troubling picture. A shooter identified but not catch. A vehicle found but no suspect. DNA evidence delayed. Possible connections to another high profile murder. Missing camera footage, and now silence from officials. This is no longer just about one campus or one city. This is about public safety, trust in investigations, and whether critical time was lost. People want answers, they want transparency, And most of all, they want to know if there is still a dangerous person out there who has not been stopped yet. The longer this drags on, the scarier it becomes because every unanswered question leaves room for the worst possibilities. So the real question how the real question now is simple and urgent. How many more warning signs will it take before this case finally gets the reality and accountability the public deserves? So, thanks for watching my video. I will see you in the next video.